Hi everyone, I'm Sarah at Childhood Finds. Thank you for joining me for this research video today. So if you've never joined me before, a little bit about myself is I am a full-time reseller and I do these research videos so that one, I can learn new things to look out for and also to share the knowledge with you. And today the category is going to be on arts and crafts. So this is a huge category. It's very broad and I'm not even going to be scratching the surface on things to be looking out for. But what I wanted to do is just give you ideas of different things that are out there that could be valuable that maybe you don't see as valuable right now, or things you didn't know about. And that's the goal of this video, is just to open your eyes to new categories and new items and new things out there if you are a reseller. And I tried to do it in multiple different categories in the arts and crafts. So, you know, cross stitch, painting, drawing, things like that. I tried to go in, do a little bit of a variety, but again, I haven't even scratched the surface. I probably should do another video here in the future, and I probably will. But for right now, I have a fair amount of things to share with you, things that are worth some really good money as well. What I'd like you to do is, if you are a reseller, why don't you share in the comments with me if there are any craft or art items that you have sold in the past that are worth good money. And the other thing that I want to share about this video is what I didn't do is I tried not to find, I didn't look for crafting machines. So you're not going to see big sewing machines, jewelry making machines. I'm not doing that because those are going to be harder to find, source, test. Those are absolutely out there and valuable, and I could maybe talk about them another time. But what I wanted to talk about today mostly are the kits, materials, things that are more easily accessible to the regular person going out and trying to find items to sell. And so with all that being said, one more thing, how I do my research videos, guys, is I do my best to make this the most accurate for you. So I try to see things that have sold multiple times. I'm trying to see if buyers have left feedback. I do my best to make sure that what I'm sharing with you is correct and accurate. I'm not always perfect, but I do my best to share things with you that are going to be helpful. So let's go ahead and get started on all these new items to share. This first one that we're looking at is something that I have been looking for quite a while for to try and find out there, but I've seen many people have sold these. And what it is it's a queen embroidery hoop, wooden 4-inch round, felt lined, wheel tension antique. And so what the embroidery hoops are used for is essentially to keep the fabric taut when doing like needlework. And so these ones you can see here are felt lined, like it says, and it also says queen on them. So that is how it can help identify them to you. They also come in different sizes, and different sizes are going to bring different values. And most of these go for really good money. I hope to find one eventually. It's on my bucket list of sourcing. But let me show you kind of a history of solds here. So this is actually just the last 3 months. So in the last, let me make sure I'm double checking that. Nope, these are the last 3 years. I apologize for that. And so here we have on Terapeak on eBay, we're seeing a price trend. So 250 or 242 sellers, and the average sold price when I just type in queen embroidery hoop is $254.73. So that gives you an idea that these are quite valuable, and a lot of them are selling, so they're out there. You just gotta find them. And so this is definitely something to be on the look for in this category. Next, we're gonna look at latch hook kits. So I actually did a ton of latch hook kits when I was young, and the rug kits are definitely in the more valuable area. And this one, so this doesn't look like anything, this first picture, but it's a Shieldcraft latch hook rug kit, vintage wool, untouched, tiger and cub. So what it comes with is it comes with this pattern here, and then it comes with all the different yarn cut up. And what you do is you use a tool and you hook the fabric on there. You literally just hook the fabric onto there in a certain pattern. And then once you do all the different colors, it'll look like this that you see on the screen, but with fabric. and I have done a ton of these. And so Shieldcraft is to look out for. Bernat, B-E-R-N-A-T. I think that's how you pronounce it. They also make yarn. I know you've seen that brand if you've gone into a craft store. They make some latch hook kits that are also quite valuable. So this one sold for $389, and it did get positive feedback. And I didn't even say the queen, let me go back. These queen embroidery hoops did not sell for the $395 you see on the screen. They actually sold for $285. That's why it is valuable to price research and look up on Terapeak or the product research tab on eBay, because the prices you see as sold aren't always what they sold for. This is just going to be one more latch hook kit. This is by Busilla. They also make many different ones that you can look out for. So try to remember these brands, and if you see these things as new, you know, check them out. This one is a vintage Busilla Forest Rainbow Deluxe Pile latch hook rug kit, and this one's sealed, brand new. This one sold for a best offer of $143.46. And just keep your eye out for these latch hook kits. They also, I did, if you do, like there's Disney ones, I did Simpsons ones when I was young. Those are valuable if you can find them, you know, not done, but in the box. Those are things to look for too. These ones I was surprised by. So these are actually crochet hooks. And this one is a pink size large furls pre-owned Odyssey nickel ergonomic crochet inline hook. And I'm going to show you two different styles of this one. And so this is a brand, they actually have done research to find these crochet hooks that are, what is it exactly? That will help prevent repetitive strain injuries in like the hand and wrist. Because if you've ever done crochet, you know that motion just over and over and over hundreds of times can absolutely cause some damage to you. And so this is supposed to help with that. And that's why they're so popular. And also, like all of other things, once a person likes something and gets used to something, they're willing to pay up for it to replace it. And so this one sold for $115, and they did get positive feedback. This company is still in business. They sell crochet hooks still. These are going to be all ones that are discontinued that I'm showing you, that you can no longer buy on the website. And it looked like most of the ones they had right now are wood and resin. And these nickel ones seem to be selling pretty good. And then here is one more that also is a furls crochet hook, and it's Candy Shop Lemon Crochet Hook. And this one sold for a best offer of $125, and it did get positive feedback. And once again, they were designed to help with the strain of repetitive motions, and that's why these are selling really well. Let me show you Terapeak here, the product research tool that shows you an idea of these are selling. So this is in the last, let me scroll up, in the last 3 months, there's been 50 total sellers. The average price has been $80 for these crochet hooks. So there are some that are selling for less because they are ones that aren't discontinued, or the resin ones, but there's still lots of them, 68, a set of them for 70 that are the resin ones. These are selling a bunch. Another one that's turquoise and silver, but it's discontinued, sold for $80 on auction. So these are out there, and these are valuable. Next, we have sewing patterns. So guys, you see these all the time at yard sales, thrift stores, etc. They're everywhere. There's a ton of them that are not very valuable, but it's worth looking into on some of them. So this one, especially if you know fashion, I don't, so I could never look at a pattern and go, yeah, that's in. I'm not fashionable, and I'm just not. But you can look for like designer brands, like this one is Vogue that I'm about to talk about. But there's other ones that even the McCalls and the Simplicity, there are ones that are valuable within those categories, but definitely looking for designers helps. And I mean, If you can get a whole bunch for cheap, you can also lot them up. I saw tons of lots of these sold on eBay as well. And oh, just another thing that I do on these research videos, there are many different selling sites. I only am showing you solds on eBay because it's the easiest to do so. If I started to branch out and show you all sorts of different platforms, this would get to be a very muddy research video. So for ease of delivery, I tend to only do the solds on eBay. And so this one here is a Vogue sewing pattern, Izzy Miyake, and it's a top, pants, and skirt. It is a style, it is something. And I saw this exact pattern sold a few times. And you can also, so numbers will help you. So you see this 16, 18, pretty much all these patterns will have a number that can help you research it. And then this one sold for a best offer of $105, and the buyer did leave the seller positive feedback. And there are lots of Vogue patterns that are valuable. It's definitely one of those ones you should really look into if you see sewing patterns. But I know there's a lot out there. It's kind of like books. There are so many out there, but you have to work hard to find the gems. And then here's just one more. I wanted to pull up a McCall's one just because it's one of the most common ones you'll see out there, along with Simplicity. And this is a 1957 McCall's bathing suit, sunsuit bloomer sewing pattern. And this one sold for $45 that you see, and the buyer did leave positive feedback. Next, this is actually a personal sale. So this is something I sold a little while back, and it's a K & Company genuine bonded leather firefighter scrapbook album unused. And this sold for full asking of $74.95. I paid $5 for this at a thrift store. Scrapbooking stuff is absolutely something to look for, especially if you make lots of it. And if you I find lots of kits of them, so I will find the scrapbook with paper, stickers, etc. inside. And although I can't sell them for huge money, I'm not getting rich off it, I can usually find them for a couple bucks and sell them for 20, 30 plus. So also something to look out for as well. And then I just wanted to show you one more scrapbook by this brand, because here's another one. It's a Eagle Scout scrapbook, and it also is K & Company, sold for $100 on an auction. But actually I've seen others of this exact scrapbook go up to 150 plus. So that also pays to, if you don't need the money right away, not doing an auction typically will benefit you. But this one sold for $100. And also Creative Memories is another brand to be looking out for. Let me show you a scrapbook by Creative Memories. That's this one. And this one sold for $75. It's fast to fab. I have sold lots of vintage Creative Memories as well. And again, not super valuable, but I've sold many of them for $30 plus. And it's just the scrapbook. And sometimes it's not even brand new and sealed, but it's a desirable pattern. It's one that's not made anymore, or it's a color that you can't find. And this one here sold for $75. And it's just like a beach theme, but it's Creative Memories. Creative Memories is a name to remember in the scrapbooking world. Another thing to just talk about in the scrapbooking world, but not quite completely relevant, I just wanted to share another research video I did, is on stickers. So vintage stickers can be worth a boatload of money. I did a whole video on just stickers. I will link that down in the description for you if you want to check out another research video of surprising things that are valuable. And I bring up now because you use a lot of stickers in scrapbooking, and I didn't share any stickers in this video because I have a whole research video on them. And then here are just Creative Memories page protectors. This is a lot of 12. It sold for $200. It's free shipping, yes, but I find these, relatively often, and I mean, they're easy sales. A lot of times you can pick them up for 50 cents, $1. And a big reason I did certain crafts like I'm showing you items these are things that, raise your hand if you're a person that has gone gung-ho on a craft and then 1 month later went, this isn't for me. And then you ended up with a whole bunch of brand new stuff that you haven't touched, or things that you have barely touched, and then you throw them in a garage sale or donate them. So this stuff is quite prevalent out there because There are so many people that just, they give up on a craft or a hobby. I'm one of those people. But these page protectors, I pick up page protectors of different brands also all the time, just because I can usually get them for $1, and then I lot them up if I get the same kind, and they always sell quickly. Then next we have here is Dimensions, the Gold Collection, Must Be St. Nick Stocking. So anytime you can find stockings in the cross stitch and in Dimensions, they are definitely worth picking up. Also, the Gold Collection is really what you want to look for with Dimensions. It says it right there, Gold Collection. And there are lots of cross stitches that are worth like $5 to $10 brand new. But this one in particular, this one sold for, I've gotten ahead of myself here. This one sold for a best offer of $224.99 and has sold multiple times in the last 90 days. If you hear heavy breathing, that's my basset hound sleeping. They are always so loud when I do videos, but what am I gonna do, disturb them? I could never do that. They're in charge here, not me. And so I have sold a couple, I can't remember exactly what it was that I sold even, but I've sold a stocking kit that was basically brand new for like $85 recently. And so you'll just see them. They'll be stocking, cross stitch. Keep your eye out for them. They're valuable. They're out there, but look for Dimensions Gold and look up Dimensions in general when you find them. I found lots of them that are $30 to $40. And although that's not a huge, big hit money bolo, it's something. It's an easy sale and an easy listing. Now we're gonna look at one more cross stitch. And this one I'd never heard of before, but it's the Lady of the Flag by Mirabilia cross stitch. And this brand, it seemed like most of them were about $20 or more. And this one in particular is what was the most valuable. This one sold for $265.99 and has sold many times in the last 3 months. But I sold multiple in this brand that were also in the 100+ range. It's just not one that I have ever seen before, but lots have sold, so it's got to be out there somewhere. And then here is one that I wanted to include because it's kind of different, not something you'd see every day. And if I saw this, I'm not so sure I would grab it right away. And this is a Farmhouse Mansions in Miniature Duracraft. It's a dollhouse building kit. You can see this box looks like, this box has seen some stuff. So I don't know that I would pick this up, but a lot of times people would probably just wouldn't sell this to you for very much. There are different brands in these farmhouse or just dollhouse kits in general that sell for this kind of price. And this one here sold for $184.50 and did get positive feedback from the buyer. But I saw multiple dollhouse kits that were selling in the 100+ range. So absolutely something to look out there for. Here's yarn. So yarn isn't going to be a get rich quick scheme, but I have sold a ton of yarn and I like selling it because it's really easy. And it's something that if someone gets into crochet or they get into, different things that need yarn and then they just quit, they have a whole bunch of brand new things that they aren't going to use. And a lot of times you buy a lot of the same color and you sell them at your yard sale for $1 a piece or less. So I find tons of yarn and I like selling it. A lot of times when you can get them into lots, I don't like to sell single yarn most of the time because those don't sell very well. But when you can get them into lots, especially if they're the same dye lot, and you'll see that on the tag. Let's see if this one shows it. It's probably gonna be you can't quite see, but usually it will say a dye lot number or something along those lines. And if you can find all of them that are in that same dye lot, that's also more value because you can buy the same exact color and brand of a yarn at the store and then have to buy more of it 3 months later and it'll be a different shade. Even though it's the same exact item with the same UPC and everything, it'll be a different shade. And so people look for same dye lots as well. But this one here is a Red Heart Super Tweed Yarn Lot of 4 skeins and mulberry worsted medium. It tells you the weight typically on the packaging. Sold for $60 on auction. And there are lots of different yarn brands. You can, Red Heart, Bernat, those are all ones to be looking out for. Again, you're not making huge money, but if you can make lots of them, they're so easy. They don't shatter in shipping if you have to ship them. And here's one more. It's a Bernat Soft Buccal. I've sold this brand before and I can't ever say that either in the other videos. Yarn Westport Shades. And oh, you're gonna itch now loudly, thank you. And this one sold for $79.95 that you see, and it's for 7 of them, so a little more than $10 a piece. So again, you're not getting rich, but absolutely worth the time. Next here, we have something that I found surprising because art isn't something I am good at. I can't draw, I can't paint, I can't do any of that. But I know that there's supplies out there that's really valuable. And so these are Prismacolor art sticks, 48 pieces, open box and lightly used. These are used art sticks and they sold for $220. Let me get to the right page where I'm at here. And I saw a ton of these selling for this price range. Let me show you here on Terapeak. And this is in, let's look here. This is in the last 90 days. We've had 19 different ones total sellers. Average sold price for these listings is $55.34. And you can see here that there's just one single art stick that sold for $20. Another one, single art stick of black, sold for $27 free shipping. So you can see that this is something, here's one that's 24 color set, used and missing one. It's not even complete and it's used and it sold for $50. So Prismacolor is a brand to be looking out for. Here are some, this is a lot of 75 Copic Sketch double-sided alcohol markers. So these are professional markers. These are definitely going to be people that are doing comics, mangas, creating their own stuff. These are professional markers, but they're selling used. And a lot of times if you ever bought these at a yard sale or at the thrift store, you're going to be getting them in a big pile anyway. And this one sold for the $134.96. And I saw a ton of lots of these that were selling for really good money. So these aren't your Crayola brand. These are professional grade markers. Then here I just wanted to share a little bit of jewelry making stuff. And this is just 12.6 pounds broken silver tone fashion jewelry lot for crafting or jewelry making. Guys, this is just a box of broken crap, like for lack of a better term. And it sold for $97. And I see these kind of lots all the time that sell. They're just jewelry and crafting lots. And I know that there's good stuff in there for crafting, so it's absolutely worth it. But $97 for a box that you could just be filling up when you find assorted stuff out there and still make money off. And this was on an auction, but I've seen lots and lots of these out there. And here's just another one of Mill Hill Glass, Treasures, lot of 35 packages, needlework, beads, charms, variety. These were all, brand new stock. They wouldn't be very valuable alone, but they lotted them all up together, put it on an auction, and it sold for $137.50. And you can see they're not much, guys. This isn't, these are small. This isn't a lot of stuff here. And it sold for over $100. And so guys, that is just a very small scratching of the surface in the arts and crafts world of items that are valuable. But I just wanted to start to give you an idea of different things to look out for that are out there, that these are things that you will find because all of us are guilty of quitting crafts when we start them. So thank you so much for joining me, guys, and I will see you on the next video.